Have you ever wondered why some people seem to receive blessings effortlessly while others struggle endlessly? What if I told you that the struggles you face today are not obstacles, but a bridge to your greatest breakthroughs? In this video, we'll uncover the divine process that transforms trials into true wealth, influence, and purpose. You'll learn why God tests the heart, how to prepare for abundance, and why real success begins from within. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any insights that can change your life and help you walk the path to your destiny.
Trials are a sign of preparation, not punishment. Many people misunderstand seasons of hardship, assuming that struggle means abandonment or failure. In reality, trials are often a sign of preparation, not punishment. Throughout life, the pattern remains the same. First the desert, then abundance. First pressure, then promotion. What feels like delay is frequently development, and what seems like loss is often protection. Before true abundance comes, there is usually a wilderness season. The desert is uncomfortable, silent, and demanding, but it is also purposeful. In the desert, distractions fall away, comfort disappears. A person is confronted with who they truly are, not who they pretend to be. This is where foundations are tested and motives are exposed. Abundance without preparation would destroy character, but the desert strengthens it. Pressure always comes before promotion. Just as coal becomes a diamond only under immense pressure, people are shaped by challenges they would never choose voluntarily. Pressure reveals weaknesses, but it also builds resilience, discipline, and depth. Promotion without pressure produces pride, fear, and instability. Pressure, when endured faithfully, produces strength that can sustain greater responsibility. One of the most difficult parts of preparation is the silence of God. When prayers seem unanswered and heaven appears quiet, it is easy to assume rejection. Yet silence is not absence, it is examination. In silence, God watches not what people say, but how they live. Do they remain faithful when there is no visible reward? Do they continue to trust when there is no immediate confirmation? Silence tests conviction more deeply than blessing ever could. God strengthens roots before He releases fruit. Trees with shallow roots may grow quickly, but they collapse in storms. Deep roots take time to develop, unseen and uncelebrated, but they allow the tree to stand firm and bear lasting fruit. In the same way, character, humility, gratitude, and obedience are formed underground, away from applause. Only after roots are strong can fruit be trusted to grow. Trials are not evidence that something is wrong, they're evidence that something significant is being prepared. The length of preparation often reflects the weight of what is coming. What feels like delay is actually alignment. What seems like breaking is often shaping. When life feels like a desert, remember, it is not the end of the story. Pressure is not punishment. Silence is not rejection. Roots are growing, even when nothing is visible. And when the season changes, the fruit will not only appear, it will last.
God does not entrust wealth to a leaking vessel.
True wealth is not money. In a world obsessed with numbers, status, and visible success, wealth is often measured by bank accounts and possessions. Yet true wealth has never been about money alone. Money is only a small part of a much larger picture. Real wealth is found in stewardship, influence, and responsibility. It is not about how much a person owns, but about how faithfully they manage what has been entrusted to them. Money, by its nature, is neutral. It is neither good nor evil. It simply reveals priorities. When money becomes the goal, it quickly turns into a master. It demands sacrifice, compromises values, and reshapes identity. But when money is understood as a tool, it takes its proper place. A tool is used, not worshipped. It serves a purpose beyond itself. In God's design, money exists to support vision, serve people, and advance what brings life, healing, and restoration. True wealth begins with responsibility. Influence without character is dangerous, and resources without wisdom are destructive. This is why God does not primarily look for rich people. He looks for trusted stewards. A steward understands that nothing truly belongs to them. Time, abilities, opportunities, and finances are all assignments, not possessions. They are meant to be managed with humility, integrity, and accountability. Influence is one of the highest forms of wealth. The ability to shape lives, restore families, open doors for others, and create lasting change cannot be measured in currency. Money can buy access, but it cannot buy trust. It can fund projects, but it cannot create purpose. Only a person with a grounded heart can carry influence without abusing it. Responsibility is the weight that comes with true wealth. It requires discipline, discernment, and a willingness to serve rather than dominate. God entrusts more to those who have proven faithful with less. Faithfulness in small things reveals readiness for greater assignments. This principle applies not only to finances, but to leadership, relationships, and authority. When wealth is viewed correctly, fear of loss disappears. If money is a tool, losing it does not destroy identity. If influence is stewardship, it is exercised with care rather than control. The heart remains free because its security is not tied to numbers, but to purpose. God is not searching for people who want to be rich. He is searching for people he can trust. Those who understand that money serves the mission, not the ego, are the ones who can carry true wealth without being consumed by it.
God tests the heart in difficult seasons. Hard seasons reveal far more than easy ones ever could. When life is comfortable, it is simple to speak the right words, pray confidently, and appear faithful. But when resources are scarce, doors close, and progress slows, the true condition of the heart comes into view. In these moments, God is not primarily listening to the volume of prayers. He is observing the posture of the heart. God watches gratitude in need. Anyone can be thankful when life is abundant, but gratitude in lack reveals trust. When a person can still give thanks for daily bread, for health, for breath itself, it shows that their faith is not dependent on circumstances. Gratitude in hardship declares, "I trust you even when I do not understand." This kind of gratitude opens the heart to growth rather than bitterness. God also examines generosity when there is little. Many promise that they will become generous one day when they have more. But generosity is not born in abundance, it is revealed in scarcity. A person who gives when resources are limited demonstrates that money does not control them. Even small acts of giving in difficult seasons carry great weight because they expose what the heart truly values. Honesty when no one is watching is another critical test. Difficult seasons often bring temptation to compromise, justify shortcuts, or bend truth for survival. God observes decisions made in secret not public statements. Integrity in private builds a foundation strong enough to carry public responsibility later. What is protected in hidden places determines what can be trusted in visible ones. God looks for faithfulness without applause. Serving when no one notices, continuing to do what is right without recognition, and remaining consistent when there is no immediate reward reveals maturity. Many desire public affirmation, but few are willing to remain faithful in silence. Heaven values quiet obedience more than visible success. Finally, God watches the heart's response to the success of others. Rejoicing when someone else is blessed, even while personal prayers remain unanswered, is a powerful sign of freedom from envy and comparison. A heart that can celebrate others without resentment is capable of carrying blessing without corruption. Difficult seasons are not designed to break people, but to reveal them. God uses these moments to shape character, refine motives, and prepare hearts for greater trust. What passes these tests is not talent or effort, but sincerity. When the heart is right in hardship, promotion becomes safe.
5 key tests that shape true readiness. Before God entrusts greater influence, responsibility, or resources to a person, He allows seasons that reveal what truly lives in the heart. These seasons are not random. They are intentional tests designed to prepare, refine, and protect. There are 5 key areas God consistently examines to determine whether a person is ready for more. The first test is gratitude and generosity in need. Many believe generosity begins with abundance, but the opposite is true. Generosity is born in scarcity. When resources are limited, every act of giving costs something. In these moments, God observes whether gratitude remains or whether complaint takes over. A thankful heart in lack shows trust, while generosity in poverty proves freedom from the control of money. What is given when little is available reveals more than what is given when there is plenty. The second test is honesty and discipline in secret. God places great value on what happens when no one is watching. Faithfulness without recognition always comes before public trust. Integrity in private decisions, consistency in daily habits, and obedience without applause form the foundation for lasting influence. Those who seek recognition before building character often remain stuck, while those who are faithful in anonymity are quietly prepared for greater responsibility. The third test is humility and dependence on God rather than on resources. God often removes false sources of security, income, connections, plans, or reputation to reveal the true foundation of a person's trust. This process is uncomfortable but necessary. When dependence shifts from resources to God, fear loosens its grip and peace grows. God becomes not a backup plan, but the primary source. The fourth test is emotional maturity. Wealth and influence amplify emotions already present. That is why God allows situations that provoke frustration, misunderstanding, and disappointment. He watches whether a person forgives quickly, maintains peace, and controls reactions. Emotional maturity protects relationships and prevents success from becoming destructive. A calm spirit is a greater asset than any financial gain. The fifth test is discernment, the ability to distinguish what is merely good from what is truly divine. Not every open door is from God. Some opportunities promise quick success, but pull the heart away from purpose. Saying no to profitable but misaligned paths requires patience, trust, and clarity. These 5 tests are not obstacles, they are preparation. Passing them does not make a person wealthy, it makes them trustworthy.
Now think about this. Do you believe God blesses everyone equally, or only those He knows can handle it? Some say it's just about luck or working harder, but what if true wealth is about preparation, character, and endurance through trials? I want to hear what you think. Do you agree, or is that too spiritual? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's debate. And while you're thinking, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because in the next part, we'll reveal the 5 key tests that show whether someone is truly ready for God's blessings.
God separates the seekers. There's a profound distinction between those who seek God for who He is and those who seek Him primarily for what He can provide. Difficult seasons have a way of exposing this difference. When blessings flow, motives can remain hidden. But when prayers seem unanswered and rewards are delayed, the true reason behind faith becomes clear. God uses these moments to separate seekers of His presence from seekers of His benefits. Those who seek God for Himself remain when nothing else remains. Their faith is not sustained by visible progress, comfort, or reward. Even when circumstances are painful and confusing, they continue to pursue relationship rather than results. They do not treat God as a solution to their problems, but as the center of their lives. Their devotion is not transactional, it is relational. On the other hand, those who seek God mainly for what He can give often grow frustrated in seasons of delay. When prayers are not immediately answered, faith weakens. When blessings are withheld, disappointment turns into doubt. God is approached as a provider rather than a father, and faith becomes conditional. As long as outcomes are favorable, trust remains, but when outcomes change, commitment fades. God allows silence, struggle, and waiting to reveal these motivations. He is not trying to push people away, He is inviting them deeper. The removal of visible rewards strips faith down to its core. In this process, God asks a quiet but powerful question. If I give you nothing else, am I still enough? Those who answer yes pass from dependency on blessings to intimacy with God Himself. They begin to value presence over provision, obedience over outcomes, and relationship over reward. This kind of faith is unshakable because it is rooted in who God is, not in what He does. God separates seekers because true stewardship requires love, not entitlement. Those who only love the gifts will misuse them. Those who love the giver can be trusted with influence, resources, and responsibility. When the heart is anchored in God rather than in outcomes, success no longer corrupts and loss no longer destroys. This separation is not about rejection, it is about alignment. God draws closer to those who desire Him above all else. In doing so, He prepares them for greater trust, not because they earned it, but because their hearts are safe to receive it. In the end, seeking God for who He is leads to a deeper reward than anything He could give. It leads to peace that does not depend on circumstances, faith that does not fail in silence, and a relationship that endures beyond every season. Long preparation equals great purpose. Life often tests patience, and the waiting seasons can feel frustrating. Yet these periods of delay and difficulty are not meaningless. They are preparation for a far greater purpose. God's timing is perfect, and the length and intensity of preparation often correspond directly to the magnitude of what is to come. The heavier the battle, the greater the blessing. Trials are not obstacles to success, but the groundwork for it. Difficult seasons strengthen character and develop resilience. When a person endures pressure, setbacks, and apparent failures without abandoning faith, they grow in maturity. Delay, in this sense, is not denial. It is an investment in spiritual, emotional, and moral growth. Each challenge teaches patience, humility, and perseverance. It trains the heart to remain steadfast, the mind to remain focused, and the soul to trust beyond sight. What seems like stagnation is often the quiet work of God, deepening roots so that the future harvest will not collapse under weight. Losses, too, are part of this divine preparation. What appears as failure or deprivation is often a redirection toward a greater destiny. Doors that close, relationships that end, or opportunities that vanish may feel like setbacks, but they frequently protect from premature success or steer toward a path better aligned with purpose. In retrospect, what was lost often proves to have been the seed of future growth. Loss is never final. It is part of God's careful orchestration to align circumstances with His plan. God's timing is intentional. The long seasons of waiting cultivate endurance, while the struggles and pressures cultivate strength. Each obstacle and delay equips the individual with the wisdom, patience, and humility needed to handle greater responsibilities. The larger the blessing, the greater the preparation required. Quick success without preparation often leads to pride, fear, or misuse, but gradual, tested growth ensures readiness. Ultimately, long preparation produces a person who can carry more than just material blessings. It cultivates someone capable of stewardship, influence, and lasting impact. Those who endure the trials faithfully will one day recognize that the waiting, losses, and hardships were necessary steps to fulfill their true calling. When the harvest finally arrives, it is not only abundant, it is sustainable. The depth of the struggle corresponds to the height of the purpose. Every delay, every trial, and every loss has been an investment in your readiness. What felt like struggle was shaping strength. What felt like waiting was sowing destiny. In God's timing, the prepared heart meets the blessing exactly when it is meant to.
At the appointed time, a sudden breakthrough occurs. There comes a moment in every journey when preparation meets opportunity, and the breakthrough happens, not gradually, but suddenly. Doors that once seemed closed begin to open on their own. Opportunities arrive without struggle. Resources flow like a river rather than a trickle. This is the appointed time, a season when God rewards faithfulness and readiness with abundance beyond expectation. The breakthrough is always aligned with divine timing. It is never premature because God waits until the heart is prepared to handle the responsibility that comes with blessing. Those who have endured hardship, remained faithful in silence, and maintained integrity now find themselves in a new season. What once required strenuous effort or painful persistence begins to move effortlessly. The timing is perfect, and the results are overwhelming because they are measured not by human standards, but by God's plan. Resources arrive as a flowing stream. Money, connections, opportunities, and influence all come simultaneously, as if the universe itself is responding. Yet the person experiencing this does not panic or grasp at these blessings out of fear or greed. They have learned through seasons of scarcity that these resources are not the source of security or identity. Instead, they are tools to be managed wisely. Money is no longer the master. It is the instrument through which God's purposes are fulfilled. The heart of the faithful steward remains humble even amidst abundance. They understand that the sudden influx is not a reward for effort alone, but the result of a process of preparation and trust. Wealth, influence, and opportunity are now extensions of stewardship, not status. They are entrusted with resources to bless others, to create positive change, and to carry forward a legacy of faithfulness and integrity. Fear of loss or failure no longer dominates. The person knows that the abundance is not their own, but God's, and that true security rests in Him. The breakthrough is not merely financial or material, it is spiritual. It reflects the alignment of heart, character, and purpose with divine will. At the appointed time, the breakthrough confirms what preparation has been teaching all along. Faithfulness in the hidden seasons produces visible results. The sudden flow of resources, open doors, and effortless opportunities demonstrate that God's timing is perfect and that those who steward faithfully in the small things are trusted with the great.
The breakthrough is both a reward and a responsibility, a chance to manage God's resources wisely for His kingdom, with a heart that remains steadfast, humble, and aligned with His purpose. The result of transformation. True transformation is the alignment of the inner life with outer circumstances. For many, external success seems like the ultimate goal, but without inner growth, wealth and influence can become destructive. Transformation occurs when external blessings catch up with internal maturity, when the heart, refined through trials, finally meets abundance without being compromised. At this point, money no longer controls the person. Instead, the person governs the resources, using them wisely and faithfully for God's purposes. In this season, wealth serves as a tool rather than a master. The individual has learned through scarcity, patience, and testing that resources are not for self-glorification or comfort alone. Money becomes an instrument for stewardship, for impact, and for blessing others. The lessons learned in the desert, humility, gratitude, discipline, generosity, remain intact. External abundance cannot corrupt a heart that has been refined under pressure. The person understands that security and identity are not found in possessions, but in God. Life itself becomes a living testimony. Others see the fruit of endurance, faith, and character. The way a person handles sudden resources, influence, and opportunity reflects the depth of their inner transformation. Their integrity, generosity, and wisdom inspire and teach those around them. Through their life, the process of faithfulness in hidden seasons is demonstrated to all. People see that true success is more than material accumulation. It is the manifestation of a heart aligned with God. Despite the external change, the person remains the same at the core. The humility, dependence, and discipline that were developed in the desert do not vanish in prosperity. The quiet prayers, unseen acts of kindness, and faithful service continue because they are rooted in identity, not circumstance. This continuity ensures that external blessings enhance the person's ability to bless others, rather than inflate pride or fear. Transformation, then, is not merely about achieving wealth or success. It is about becoming someone capable of carrying and managing what God entrusts. The outer world reflects the inner reality. Abundance, influence, and authority follow internal readiness. What once seemed distant, peace, generosity, spiritual maturity, and integrity becomes visible and actionable. In the end, true transformation ensures that wealth and success serve a higher purpose. The person becomes a vessel through which God's kingdom flows, a living testimony of faithfulness, resilience, and alignment with divine purpose. External blessings no longer overwhelm, they amplify the fruit of internal growth. What began in the desert has now blossomed into a life that reflects God's preparation, guidance, and trust.
Life's most profound blessings are rarely immediate. They come after seasons of preparation, struggle, and refinement. Trials are not obstacles to success, they are the bridge to it. They are the crucible in which character is tested, hearts are purified, and faith is strengthened. God does not hand over abundance to someone who is unprepared, for premature blessing can destroy as easily as it can provide. Instead, He first shapes the person, molding their heart, mind, and spirit to carry what is to come. Before wealth, influence, or legacy can be entrusted, God ensures the individual is ready. He tests patience, humility, generosity, and faithfulness in hidden seasons, often when there is little to see or celebrate. These periods of apparent silence and scarcity are the workshops of the soul. Each trial teaches lessons that prosperity alone cannot teach: discipline, emotional maturity, integrity, and dependence on God rather than resources. What is formed internally determines how abundance will be managed externally. Trials also serve as a protective measure. God's purpose is not only to bless, but to bless safely. A person unprepared for wealth or authority risks being consumed by pride, fear, greed, or selfishness.
By passing through challenges first, the heart is strengthened, the mind clarified, and the spirit aligned with God's will. The weight of blessing requires a foundation deep enough to bear it. Trials deepen those roots. When the time is right, abundance arrives, not gradually, but often as a sudden breakthrough. Doors open, resources flow, and influence expands. Yet the person is no longer overwhelmed, for they have been trained to steward what is entrusted. Money, opportunity, and authority become tools for kingdom purposes rather than sources of identity or control. Blessing is no longer about comfort or status. It is about service, impact, and legacy. Ultimately, trials are the bridge connecting preparation to destiny. God's process is deliberate, first the shaping, then the entrusting. Those who endure faithfully learn that each hardship was purposeful, each delay meaningful, and each challenge a step closer to carrying the blessing fully. By the time abundance arrives, the individual is no longer just receiving wealth. They are prepared to carry it with wisdom, integrity, and a heart aligned with God. Trials are not the end. They are the beginning of true readiness. Blessing always follows preparation, and preparation always begins with the heart. Those who endure, persevere, and remain faithful emerge capable of handling what God has promised, transforming not only their own lives, but the lives of generations to come.
If this video challenged the way you think about trials, wealth, and purpose, don't stop here. There's so much more waiting for you. Stories, lessons, and insights that can transform how you approach life and success. Click on the videos suggested on the screen to keep learning and growing. And before you go, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson that could change your journey. Your next breakthrough might be one video away. Stay curious, stay faithful, and let's walk this path together.